Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today, and those of you who are new to my channel, I just like to give my views on ancient history, and I like to share as many different videos on as many different subjects relating to ancient history as I can. And I also like documenting as many ancient sites from across the world, at least that it's allowable to, on Google Earth. And the video I uploaded yesterday, the Achavanich Beaker Burial Project and Maya Hoole's lecture, if you didn't have a chance to check that out, I just thought that was fascinating. But since this woman obviously probably had some importance, and there was obviously a culture living in northern Scotland 4,000 years ago, I just thought I would look around this area and document it. But here is Achavanich, pretty much just a couple houses, and I'm not positive where this 4,000-year-old Beaker burial site was, but there are a few different sites that were possible, but it's right in this general area here. So I thought I would go down and take a look and document some of the ruins, because if there's a 4,000-year-old pretty important burial site here, there's obviously ruins. So let's just go down and take a look. Here we are down on Street View, and over here we obviously have a row of stones, and I guess this forms a U, but here you see some of the stones here, and if my phone doesn't shut up, I'm going to flip out here. And here are those stones. Take a look at them. The purpose of these, is there some alignment? Well, none that I could really figure out. They kind of point directly north, but that is something that is just a great question. These look like many ancient stones, circle stones from the UK, and my guesstimate is they come from around 4,000 years ago. If that's when the woman was buried, that's a very good guess as the rough estimate when these stones were put into place. Now here are the standing stones right here that I guess form a U, and you can see north is this way, and they kind of point north, but that's really kind of indecipherable. But here you see a very impressive stone circle, and down here there is obviously ancient stone walls that have just deteriorated over the millennia. But obviously, if you've looked at Google Earth long enough, you can clearly make out the ancient ruins, and you can see them from the road too. But obviously, something well built was down here, a stone circle. We have standing stones just up here away, and I just find this site pretty cool to look at. Sometimes ancient history isn't really scintillating, but needs to be documented. Now, just over the way, by this other lake here, you can see these ruins in here. I'm just going to take you overhead, give you just a quick look shot here. But obviously we have ruins, ancient stone walls just under the surface here. But, you know, all ancient history, or 4,000-year-old ancient history, lies just under the surface of the ground, and I think we would have all sorts of stuff found here if a mass excavation project was done, but that's usually impossible. But here you can see, I find this very interesting, obviously ancient stone walls, and right out on this little point here, there is something, a stone structure built right out on this point. I find that fascinating. Well, let's go down on the road and just take a look at what this looks like here. You see here, there is some stones built up along here, and they have nothing to do with the fence here. Those stones are obviously ancient. And out here, for some reason, it looks like there was some sort of structure that has just kind of deteriorated, and you know, people might say, well, this might be just a natural rock formation. And I grew up in Minnesota, and I looked at this from overhead where the grass is growing and then where these stones appear, and it could be very well that is an ancient structure. But here, just under the grass, you have more stones here, but just under the grass you have vast ruins. And they stretch all along here. I just find this pretty cool to look at. Now, just on the north side of this lake here, under the ground, we obviously have some ruins. A henge, and I measured this, and it's about 50 meters across. So all around this lake, there seems to be ruins. Now here from overhead, we'll just take a peek at a few pics. Here is what is described as the Great U. There's a look at some of those stones. And here you get a good look at, this will be a good place just to look at the sun alignment when it rises and sets. And over here, there's a good look at some of the standing stones. But let's just zoom in on one more area here. And here you can see some more ruins. And if you just go a little bit this way, we have another stone circle in this area. Just wanted to show you that place. Just one more area I wanted to zoom in on, but there is just strange ruins under the ground. I'm not sure if anybody has been living up in this area to account for these, but this area could be a little more modern. But clearly something under the ground here. But if you have stone circles, and if you have those standing stones and stone structures that are in ruins along the lake shore, I just think this is a fascinating area. Seems to be a culture living in a pretty unhospitable area about 4,000 years ago. But I just wanted to document this. I've documented many sites in the UK, and this is the tiny little town of Achavanich. And hope you check out that lecture by Hoole. I just thought that was fascinating. This is the area where it comes from. Hope you thought that was interesting, just documenting an ancient site. Y'all have a nice day.